This has had a couple minutes to dry here a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and attach it. I don't know if that's in focus or not. There. That's what it looks like. The next thing is to drill the holes. I use a little drill press. You could use an awl to punch holes through here, but I found it's pretty tough, so I just use a small drill press to drill small holes to put the needles through. So you'll see that process next, and then I'll sew it together. Okay, I'm out of my small drill press. I've got a stick here that I'm going to put underneath this. I'm going to have to roll this and do some odd angles, so it's going to kind of be difficult, or more difficult than if it was just a flat surface. So I'm going to get started. I'll probably show some of this and then stop the video and just do the rest of it. Raise this up just a little bit. And I'm drilling the holes where those little marks were that I made earlier. I'll show you these holes and then continue around. You can see right there. Okay, I finished drilling the holes. So the next thing, I'm going to go inside now and stitch this up. Okay, I'm ready to start. What I've got here are a couple large needles, and they're pretty blunt. They're not real sharp on the end. I mean, you could poke yourself. I've got some beeswax, and I've got some heavy thread. This thread is actually pre-waxed, but I still like to wax it a little bit more. I'm going to pull off a good sized chunk here, maybe 3 or 4 feet. I don't want to cut myself short. And I'm going to rub this wax across the thread, especially on the ends, because it will actually help keep the needle in place on the wax, because we don't tie the needle on, it's just held in place. You'll see it's just folded over. And the other benefit of the beeswax is it helps lubricate the thread a little bit to go through the holes easier. So I'm going to put this through. I flattened the thread out a little bit, put it through to let it go through this eyelet. Still, it's a little tough to get through there. There. So I'll just take it and fold it over, and that one's ready. And I'll do the same with the other one. We're going to sew with 2 needles here. It's going to be a double stitch. And I'm going to start at a corner, and I think I'll start at this corner here, and it will finish on the inside. So I'm going to take it through here once and pull it fairly even to start with. And the other needle will go through, and what will end up happening is each needle will go through the hole, so it'll be twice through the same hole, and it'll just go back and forth. And each time through, I like to pull it and tighten it. This is a kind of slow and laborious process, but the end results are quite nice and very strong. I'll do a few here and then show you. So I've done just that one end already. Okay, I'll go off camera and I'll go ahead and finish this and then show you what it looks like after it's done. I'm about halfway done. I just wanted to show you progress that's being made on it. So we got one side and the top done. Now I got to do the other side and all the way down the bottom edge of it. I'm just about finished with the stitching here. It's all the way around, and I got the last stitch to put in. I'm going to end up cutting it off on the back side, and I wanted to show you how I did that. So the last stitch is going through. And I'm going to tie them off. I'm actually going to make a double knot here. I'm going to cut it off with this X-Acto knife fairly close to the knot. You can see what that looks like in there. Then I'm going to take a lighter and melt this and press it flat to kind of seal it. See what that looks like right there. And there's the stitching. Okay, probably one of the next things, I should have actually dyed this at the same time as I dyed this, but I didn't, so I'll dye that here shortly. This is going to be the back side, and recall on the back side there's these snaps that go in, and this part is going to get sewn on. And this is actually two layers, so these snaps need to go in so they don't hit the back side of the knife. And this needs to be sewn on before these two pieces are folded together and then stitched together. So I've got some work to do. So probably the first thing I'm going to do is dye this and then work on getting the snaps in position on this. Oh, I wanted to show you also, it will end up looking kind of like this. And here's the knife. Fits in there very nicely. So it's starting to take shape now. I should have shown this, but I'm just finishing up on staining this belt loop. Anyway, it's just a repeat of the staining process. Again, several coats to make sure it's got a nice even coat and you haven't missed any spots. Okay, I'll just let that dry. When I'm finished, I tend to take these daubers and Try to get most of the dye out of it so I can reuse it later on. Otherwise it would get all clogged up. So I have some old newspaper here and it absorbs the dye. You can see it's almost gone. So it's ready to use for the next time.